How's it going, guys? It's your boy, Lieutenant Dan, live from Unintentional Grounding here in Orlando, Florida. I hope everybody's having a wonderful night. I decided that I wanted to do a 53-man roster prediction. And I kind of just wanted to, I don't know, man. I just kind of wanted to go live tonight, say who my 53-man is going to be, who my guys are going to be for the Falcons going forward, and chat with you, the grounders, the guys and gals that make this channel worth what it is. Seems to be a bit of a slow night tonight, but if you are in the chat currently, or you're viewing this live, make sure that you share this out to your friends and family. Make sure you share this out to your Facebook friends and family that are out there on social media that might want to hear this kind of stuff. And make sure that you hit up the live chat box. I'll be taking questions from there, as well as saying hi to all the friends and famos and all the grounders that are coming through. I really appreciate you being here. I really do. Like, I don't know how, but I really appreciate all of you guys being here, and I don't know how you I don't know how this continues to be a amazing platform that we continue to share with each other. But with that being said, let's get to roster predictions, man. Let's get to roster predictions. I saw a couple other people going live, and kind of just felt like, you know what? I need to put my 2 cents in. I need to put my 2 cents in on who's going to start. Who's going to make the team? Who's going to make the roster? Who are locks? Who are on the outside? Who are on the bubble? And honestly, looking at the grand scheme of it all, like looking at the grand scheme of how the Falcons roster currently is generating talent, how our drafts are generating talent. How far along are you? I just started, man. I just started. We're getting in it. Jack Savage, good to see you. King Jaffe Joe, good to see you in here. RB Blackshare, good to see you, my man. Rise up, stay grounded. Make sure that you share this out to your friends and family on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram if those people are interested in coming along. Anyway, Joe, good to see you, my man. Hey, Joe, Padua, good to see you, my man. Good to see you. Good to see all the grounders in here. I'm happy. I'm happy that you guys are here. Like I said, saw a couple other people going live and talking about it. Thought I would put my 2 cents in. Honestly, man, where do I start? Man? Yeah. Where do I start? I guess I'll start with the easiest. I'll start with the easiest position to kind of get out of the way. I'll start with the easiest position to get out of the way. We'll go through every single position and we'll talk about it. All right? And I got my list right here just to make sure that I don't go over 53 for some bizarre reason. But with that being said, that being said, did we put it on Twitter? We did put it on Twitter. Cool. We put it on Twitter? Okay, cool. We put it on Twitter. All right. Matt Ryan, Matt Schaub. Hate to say it, man, but Matt Schaub stays on the roster again. I mean, honestly, did you really think there was going to be any difference? Like, Matt Ryan's going to make this roster like he wasn't. I know a lot of Falcons fans would like to see him not make this roster. Big memes. Definitely Matt Ryan going to be making this roster. Definitely Matt Schaub going to be making this roster. I don't like it. But man, Schaub's probably the most reliable guy that we got. Sims, hurt. Benkert, hurt. And Etling really hasn't shown anything outside of being maybe a project way down the road. So, let's just, 2 QBs, man. Let's just put it down. 2 QBs. Boom. All right, cool. Let's get to the next easiest. There's only going to be one kicker on this team. I know a lot of people are going, we're going to be carrying 2 kickers into the preseason, into the regular season, and through until they figure out who. No. This is going to all be played out at this last preseason game, and at the maximum will most likely be played out in the first week of the season. There will not be any extra kickers being put on this roster. There won't be any extra long snappers. There won't be any extra punters. So 1 punter, 1 kicker, 1 long snapper. Come on, it's that simple. Now I am gonna leave special teams open. Just kicker, punter, long snapper. I am gonna keep this open. The special teams. I'm going to keep it open for some special teams because I think we're going to do kick returner, punt returner, trying to put that on the depth chart, kind of figure out that. But we'll keep going. Good to see Michael. Got a good feeling about this Julio guy. Me too. Walsh, baby, go Dogs. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Yeah, okay, anyway. I think the winner of the kicker job is going to be Tavecchio. I think they're going to stick with a young gun. I think they've seen everything they saw out of Walsh. I want to say this about Blair Walsh. Before somebody tries to bite my head off or something like that. That outside of Matt Ryan and Matt Schaub being absolutely locks, and we know that Bosher's going to be here. We know that Harris is going to be here. And the real heated discussion right now is kickers. I'm going to put this to rest like this. If you go look at Blair Walsh's statistics from his NFL debut all the way to this very moment in time, and then you look at Giorgio Tavecchio's all his statistics from the moment he got in the league till now, you'll see something very eerily similar. And those eerie similarities are that Blair Walsh and Giorgio Tavecchio have the same career path. Struggled, overhyped, thought they were more than they were, still green after all this time. Blair Walsh still green. And have struggled from team to team with preseason, with early regular season, and then finally found their groove later in the season. So if there's anything, a similarity between these 2 kickers, it's that Blair Walsh has had a longer career, but literally is Giorgio Tavecchio. And Giorgio Tavecchio is Blair Walsh with a shorter career. So there's that. B Baller, Jay Neeson. Good to see you guys rise up, stay ground. I hope you're doing well. Let's continue on. So I think Giorgio Tavecchio is going to win this job. Tavecchio is going to be the winner of this job. Let's get on to running back, because offense is the easiest. Offense is the easiest to project. Defense is where it gets tough. Running backs, it's going to be. I believe it's going to be 4 running backs. Not 5 running backs. There are people that have said 5 running backs. I believe it's Matt Tabik said that it's going to be like 5 running backs. It's going to be 4 and a special teamer. I get where he's coming from. I understand exactly where he's coming from. He was just on Aaron Freeman's show with, the Pro Football Central Radio. But that being said, I think it's weird that we still think that Brian Hill is going to win this job and stay on the team and get stashed away like some kind of golden nugget that we can't let go, or else we'll melt if we give it away, or demons will come from under our bed and eat us. I think it's going to be Freeman. I think it's going to be Ito Smith. I think it's going to be Quadri Allison. And I think it's going to be Kenjon Barner. I think the return specialist position is going to outrank whoever the last running back is. Good to see Jack Savage in here. Pantera, good to see you, my man. Look, I don't think that Brian Hill's going to make this roster. They're going to try to find a way to trade him, and if they can't trade him, then they're going to let him go. And unfortunately, they've got Quad, they've got Ito, they got Freeman. All of those are established runners. Quadri Allison being a rookie might not be the safest, but you got Kenjon Barner who could step in as a running back, and he's the return specialist, and I think he beat Marcus Green. I think he beat Zacchaeus. I think that with the Russell Gage injury, they're most likely not going to go down that path. So I think Kenjon Barner has probably won the job and most likely is going to be the successful returner. So I think it's going to be 4 running backs. Kenjon Barner is a running back. He's on that list of guys. You won't see him on the depth chart because he's considered a special team returner, but he still counts towards the squad. So I think it's Kenjon Barner, Ito Smith, Quadri Allison, Devontae Freeman. I'm not ranking those in any specific order. I'm just saying those are the 4 guys that are going to make it. So let me just write that down. 4 RB. This is just for my sake. I just want to make sure that I don't go over 53. I just want to make sure I don't go over 53. 3 special team. All right, let's keep it going. So we're up to, what are we, 7, 9. Okay, cool. Let's keep it going. I see a lot of people saying we could potentially carry 7 wide receivers. Stop. It's going to be 6 wide receivers. The 6 wide receivers are going to be Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Mohamed Sanu, Russell Gage, Justin Hardy, and Zacchaeus. I think Zacchaeus has won this job. I know people have tried to muddy the water with Christian Blake. I know some people have tried to muddy the water with Devin Gray, myself. I know some people have tried to muddy the water with Marcus Green. Marcus Green, have you seen him a lot on the field? Have you seen him catching balls lately? Have you seen him making receptions as a wide receiver? Limited to none. And Zacchaeus is the one that's shining bright, catching all the balls. He's the guy. So I think what's going to happen is Zacchaeus is somebody we're just not going to let go. And, man, Russell Gage is a hell of a competitor, and he seems like the Mohamed Sanu replacement. Justin Hardy is just very, very, very solid. I think he's got some hands problems, but he's a good route runner. He's a hard-nosed catch guy. And he can be a punt returner and safely keep the ball and instead of letting fumbleitis take over or a muff punt or muff kick. So to me, I think that easily solidifies the back half. And then, of course, Julio, Mohamed Sanu, and Calvin Ridley's most likely going to be getting more touches as he continues to go. So I think it's going to be 6 wideouts. That would put us at 15 on the roster currently. So six wide receivers. 10, 3, 5, 15. Cool. So I was right. And I think Marcus Green is probably going to be on the practice squad. So for those of you that are like, but what about Marcus Green and somebody will go get? No, Marcus Green has not shown enough as a 7th round draft pick versus Zacchaeus was completely undrafted. The undrafted guy beat the late round drafted Dibs guy. So basically, we'll put Marcus Green on the practice squad. I don't think anybody's really going to go scoop him up. And then we'll most likely move with that set of wide receivers. Let's get on to no fullback. I think, and this is tied into the tight end position, I don't think the fullback position is going to be something that they carry. Unfortunately, and I was really hoping that he was going to be able to make the squad, but I think Hooper's going to be one of those guys. I think Luke Stocker's going to be that guy. And then I think the last person on this squad is going to be Logan Paulson. Unfortunately for Graham, he's hurt. unless he blows it up in this last game against the Jags, I don't see Graham making the squad just on justification. Like, statistically, he looks great. On film, he looks great. But there's guys in front of him that just do certain positional things that, unfortunately, Graham is just going to get beat out on. I think veteran leadership, veteran reliability, not even leadership, veteran reliability is probably going to be that big bit. I'd like to talk to you about employment. Anywho, so I'm going to say 3 tight ends, and I think currently Logan Paulson or Luke Stalker will probably be that fullback that you're looking for. It's very, very, very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that a guy like Ricky Ortiz just hasn't looked impressive on tape. And the fullback position, and this is something that I definitely want to talk to you guys about, the fullback position currently is going away. There's no better term for it. It's being phased out. More tight ends are asked to be fullbacks now than, in all of the years of football that we've been watching. So to me, a guy like Graham, he can still make this roster, but he'd have to beat Logan Paulson in blocking, and that unfortunately hurts my soul because I love Jaden Graham. I want Jaden Graham to be the 4th tight end on this roster, but I think 3 tight ends is probably where they're going to be. So that's 18 players offensively currently. Let's head on to the offensive line. I think that's the next most important bit. Most important bit. Don, what's going on, my man? Jack Savage, Falcons fan 408. Blizz 818, good to see you. Pantera, good to see you in here. Jay Holland, good to see you, my man. Who else? We got King, Jaffe Joe, Michael's in the building. The real Patman is in the building. Good to see all of you guys. Rise up, stay grounded. I hope you're all doing well. Make sure you share this out, like, subscribe, and make sure that you comment in the comment section after this video. Check out all the links in this video as well. Let's continue on. 9 offensive linemen. These were the guys that I was impressed with and the guys that I think that are locks to stay on this roster. From left to right, and this would be left to right for you guys. But from left to right, we are probably going to have Jake Matthews. Duh. Jamon Brown as the starter. And James Carpenter backing him up. Jake Matthews, Wes Schweitzer is probably going to be the backup. He's going to probably be the backup center and get an opportunity at left guard if there has to be a guy there, because I think that Carpenter could potentially punch out to left tackle. But maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I need to shut up. But Jake Matthews, James Carpenter, Jamon Brown, Alex Mack, Wes Schweitzer, 5. And then to the rest of the line, I think it's Chris Lindstrom. I think it's McGarry, Salbert, or excuse me, not Salbert, Sombrilo, and Gano. And I think that they'll keep a Sombrilo over a guy like Wetzel for that right guard position because he can play that position for you. He can play right guard. He can play left guard. He can play left tackle. So to me, I think Sombrilo really gives you the jack of all trades, master of none type stuff. Gano has looked promising, although I was not super impressed what he did last game. But I think that's your 9. I think a guy like Wetzel's probably on the outside looking in. Unfortunate because I have liked what Wetzel has shown. The rest of the offensive line is a lot of hodgepodge. So there's that. So 9 offensive linemen, pretty much put it as it is. It is what it is. What are we at? Let's see. 5, 9, 18. 21, 27. 27 on offense, and now we go on to defense. So 27 total for the offense. So now we're going to go on to the defense, and I'm just keeping score of guys so that I don't go over by accident, because there's always that strange possibility that I go over by accident. Make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Boy Bangley, YouTube, good to see you, my man. What have you missed? You missed the entire offense, and I'm not going back over it again. I'm going to go over the defense now. I'm going to start with the easiest position on the defense, and I think that is actually corner. A lot of you guys are going to be like, but corner is it's all over the place. Okay, let's put it this way. We know that Trufant's going to make the squad. We know that Oliver's, those are your starters. Those are the guys that are going to make the squad. They're going to be on the squad immediately. So Trufant, Oliver, that was easy. That was simple. The next thing, though, is where do those backups come, and how far down the line can you go? Because you're going to get KZ. KZ is going to be a nickel corner, and he's probably also going to play some backup free safety, although they'll probably keep Niesman as well. Spoiler. So those are your first three corners: KZ, Oliver, Trufant. I think Jordan Miller makes this squad, and I think Kendall Sheffield also makes this squad. So that's 5 corners, and I'm going to stick it at that. I'm going to stick it at 5 corners, 5 guys, burgers and fries, that can get the job done. 2 guys that are going to be learning, a guy that's in his second year, a true starter, and a nickel corner who can also play outside, by the way, and is also a really, really good free safety. So another multifaceted tool. So 5 CBs total. So CB 5. So that is, what is that? 27 to 5. And I'm terrible at math, so that's why I'm pulling up the calculator, because I'm terrible at math. I have to always check my shit 27 times. Speaking of 27 offensive players, and then we're going to add that 5 on top of that. So we got 32 currently. Let us in. It's cold outside. Let us talk very quickly about safeties, because that's the next easiest to talk about. I think we keep 4 safeties: Niesman, Allen, Neal, and I think we also potentially keep the kid out of San Diego State. I have forgotten his name, and I feel terrible for it because he's played particularly okay in preseason. It's not great to have a rookie behind the guy that that pretty much has been injured several times in his career already. So I'm not too sure about that, but I think 4 safeties is probably what you're going to get at. So we're at 36 currently. Let's get on to the linebackers, because I definitely need to touch on this, because it's in my best interest to say that in the last few games, the guy that has really, really hit me hard, is Jermaine Grace. Why? Why has Jermaine Grace done well? Why has Jermaine Grace gone out and kicked ass and taken names? Because he's stuck with the program. He's been a Dan Quinn guy through and through. Also, very interestingly, Duke Riley has shown up in preseason, and I know all of y'all are probably like, Duke Riley showing up in preseason, what the hell? Yeah, I think he's also stuck to the process, gotten healthy, bulked up, got faster. So Duke Riley, I think, is probably another guy that has pushed himself onto the roster. And then there's, of course, 3 guys currently that I feel can stay on this roster and stick on this roster without any problem, even though that I believe Campbell will probably be gone next year because we won't vie in for his services. But Deion Jones, Devondre Campbell, Foye Oluokun, Jermaine Grace, and Duke Riley, I think, are your 5 linebackers that are going to make this squad. There might be one other linebacker that makes this squad, but those are the 5 guys, burgers and fries, that I know exactly are going to be making this roster. So I'm going to put them on the list now. 5 LBs. So that puts us up to 41. Cool. So let's talk about the defensive line, because there's a lot of guys. I'm going to say a minimum of 10. That would put us up to 51 and leave 2 spots open, which would be, you could put another corner, you could put another safety, you could put another linebacker, you could put, maybe you put another wide receiver. Maybe you do. Maybe you do keep Brian Hill. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you do keep Brian Hill because you got that extra spot. But there's a minimum of 10 that are going to be making this roster. Grady Jarrett, Vic Beasley, Tack McKinley, just right off the bat. That was easy. that was simple. Come on, my man. That was simple. That was too easy. Those 3 immediately make this roster. That's not a problem. The next guys that make this roster are Adrian Claiborne, Jack Crawford, and Alan Bailey. That makes 6. Those 3 make this roster. On the grounds that they're multifaceted players. Whereas Vic can play 1 to 2 positions currently, linebacker, defensive end. Tack can play 1 to 2 positions, linebacker, defensive end. Grady is more of a 3 and 5, and not necessarily, and really, I'm being honest, not necessarily fit to be playing any nose tackle at all. So it is what it is. But I think Bailey with the versatility at 3 and 5, Claiborne at the versatility at 3 and 5, and Crawford as a phenomenal 3-tech. That is your 6 that I'm like, they're in. That's it. You didn't have to talk about it anymore. Now it gets a little more complicated when I go through the last 4. The last 4 are going to be Kaminsky. He's locked in. He just got drafted. They're not going to be letting him go. But will he play? That's a good question. I think, chat, does John Kaminsky play this year? Because I'm not sure John Kaminsky plays this year or is active on the roster currently this year with so many guys playing at 3-tech. And count it yourselves without being biased, without emotionally driving yourselves. Be honest with yourself. Does John Kaminsky get playing time with Grady Jarrett, with Alan Bailey, with Jack Crawford, and potentially even, in some cases, Adrian Claiborne and Tack McKinley at the 3? There's not enough snaps to go around. There's not enough reps to go around for a guy like Kaminsky. He's waiting for next year. So John Kaminsky is your heir apparent to the Jack Crawford if you don't re-sign him next year. So I would say Kaminsky's on as your number 7 with 3 guys left to go. And those 3 guys, to me, and a lot of people in here, are going to be really upset. But it's Davison, it's Sanat, and it's Zimmer. Those 3 are making this squad, and here's why. Zimmer currently on Falcons PFF, and I quote PFF with the biggest grain of salt because I'm not stupid. PFF numbers are made sometimes out of thin air. But currently, Justin Zimmer is working his ass off, and he has actually come up to the point where he has put up enough pressures and sacks and stops that he's actually been nominated as one of the top, I believe it was top 50 defensive players in the preseason. So I would keep Zimmer on the grounds that he's looked so good, but I would put him behind a guy like a Sanat, who has also looked very, very good this year, although it has taken the last half of the games to be able to get to that point. And then Davison is your starting nose tackle. He's going to get a lot of reps because we're playing a 34 defense, and we need that nose tackle. And everybody in here that knows me at this point goes, Lieutenant Dan, you're not saying 5-2. Because it's not a 5-2. It's a 34 defense. A 5-2 is just a 34 defense. Don't lie to yourselves. Don't try to make up any hocus pocus. Don't try any black magic or stir your cauldrons. Don't go to D-Led and be like, hey, D-Led, what do you think of the 34 defense and if the Falcons are going to do it? Because he'll just go to Dan Quinn and he'll be like, so Dan Quinn, I hear more pundits saying that, he's going to, do his thing, and you guys are going to play some more 34. Stop. With one preseason game left and a week left before cuts, I'm going to say it right now. The guys that are playing on this roster scream 34 defense. The defense that we are currently playing when we play that 5-2 look, it's just 34, man. It's literally just 34. That's all it is, man. That's all that defense is. You pull Vic and Tack backwards as linebackers, it's 34. it's a goddamn 34. So yeah, those are my 10. Now there can be, and let me be very, very clear. Let me be very, very clear with everybody in here. I love Durant Miles. I love Austin Larkin. I really enjoy those guys and what they do. I like Odom. Odom has flashed a couple of times. I don't think any one of those guys makes it onto the active roster unless unless Larkin or Durant Miles has really impressed the squad. There's not a lot of substitutes for Vic and Tack. Maybe that's why they bring one of those guys on. But I think it's just going to be 10. That brings you up to 51, which leaves 2 spots open. So, with 31 people in the chat, I'm going to tell you right now, hit that like button because I'm going to let you guys pick the last 2 guys on the roster. If you've been through this whole show, you get the opportunity to pick the last 2 guys on our imaginary mock roster. And if there's anyone that I have missed currently that you think should be on this roster, and you've been listening from the very beginning all the way to this particular point now, speak your mind in the chat while I take a sip of water. There are 2 spots open. Two spots. And I will go over the numbers again if you guys so care. But we're sitting at 51 currently. And I am going to take a sip of water now. Nothing but H2O. Who are our linebackers one more time? Duke Riley, Jermaine Grace, Foye Oluokun, Deion Jones, and Devondre Campbell. Those are your 4 or 5 linebackers. 5 backers. 5 backers. Oh, man. I've been seeing so many people go over this over and over, and I'm done with it, man. How many people in here are ready for frickin' football, man? How many people are ready for frickin' football, man? We are 1 week a frickin' way. We're 1 week away. Tired. I'm tired. I'm going to go for another few minutes after we do this. I'm going to go for another few minutes and just speak my mind. I'm just going to speak my mind because I think that was important. Also, Jadeveon Clowney has fired his representative, has not signed his franchise tag or tender, however you want to say that. And unfortunately, is now in this big void of Miami wants him. He doesn't want to go to Miami. The Texans don't want him. He hasn't signed his contract. So he can't go anywhere. So I don't know. I'm gonna sit here and I'm just gonna watch it play out. I'm just gonna be like, if Jadeveon Clowney ends up on the Miami Dolphins, then goodbye Tom Brady. That's one less problem that I have to deal with. So I've seen people say Larkin. I see people say Blake. I see people say Brian Hill. New season of Quidditch. I really want it. So somebody's saying Larkin. So we're going to go 11 defensive linemen. That's 52. So 11 defensive linemen. That's actually the highest amount of defensive linemen that Dan Quinn has carried on a roster. So crazy, man. Very crazy. And then what? You guys want to put Brian Hill on this roster? That was the only other guy that I saw. I saw somebody say, no Brady, Will Wilson. That could definitely be a guy. That could definitely be one of the guys that makes it on this roster. I think he has the veteran leadership or well, at least a veteran play and consistency that would probably keep a guy like a Jordan Miller or a guy like Kendall Sheffield behind them, inactive but practicing with the team. So there could be that. It could be that. I don't see 7 wide receivers, bro. I don't see 7 wide receivers. I just don't, man. I don't see 7 wide receivers. I just don't see it happening. That's begging. That's begging too much. I think 7 wide receivers is a fan thing. I think 6 wide receivers is probably exactly where they're going to be currently. No to Hill, says Jack Savage. So do we have a tally? Do we have a vote? Is everybody good? Because I'm going to add Brady Ware Wilson. Brady Way Wilson. Is that how you actually say his name? Brady Way Wilson. So I'm going to add one more corner. So that's going to be 6 corners. 6 CBs, boys and girls. So 2 QBs, 3 special teams, 4 running backs, 6 wide receivers, 3 tight ends, 9 O-line, 6 corners, 4 safeties, 5 linebackers, 11 defensive linemen. And then let me put this down, because this was the last thing I wanted to say before I go on my kind of truth rant for a second. Rashid Hageman is suspended for the first 2 weeks of the regular season. Okay. Week 3, he's allowed to come back. Has not proven anything in the preseason at all. He has not proven anything in the preseason at frickin' all. Has one more preseason left to prove something. One more preseason game left to prove something. There's also the factor of Michael Bennett, the Jags former defensive tackle who played with us last year, was cut, re-signed, added to a 1-year deal, went on an IR, got immediately hurt, will be back halfway through the season. I'm not 100% sure if he is deactivated for the whole season or for half the season and will be back. But if Bennett is back, that complicates things for guys like Zimmer, for guys like Sanat, and I would definitely say something like Adrian Claiborne if he's not showing that talent level. But I digress. There's definitely room for a guy like Hageman on this roster if Zimmer is not your guy or Sanat is something that you want to trade during the regular season. That's kind of where I'm at. So, glasses off. Time for some real talk. And I'm beat, man. I'm tired. Gonna take this football. Bye. All right. So let's do a little truther for a second. Just a little truther. 9 O-line is a lot. Yeah. Man. Don't have to worry about 9 offensive linemen. Don't worry about it. 9 offensive linemen is actually not that much because you really have a backup for almost everybody. Even though, like Sombrilo is actually a left tackle that's playing right tackle, So, okay. Truther moment for just a second. Please hit that like button. I think this show has been fire. It's been really good. I don't think this has been bad. I think this has been quality content, and I've got film breakdowns for you guys that I'm working on tomorrow, and I'll be releasing at least one, which is the Lindstrom video, by the way. So everybody, please like this just because I'm putting the Lindstrom video out. It's taken 3 weeks to do. I am sick and tired of talking about preseason. This is actually my least favorite time of year. I hate this. I hate this part of the season. And good to see Dawson D. Rise up, stay ground. I hope you're doing well. I don't think I missed anybody. Cody Paul, good to see you, my man. Sergeant AR10, I am Solomon. Good to see you guys. Jeremy Cole, good to see you, my man. I don't like preseason. I hate it. I hate preseason. It is the worst. It is the absolute god worst because it brings out, I think it brings out the worst in our fans. Okay? I think it actually brings out the worst in our fans, and here's why. Although it's not as busy as the regular season, although it's not as stressful as the draft and as god awfully sent as the off season when free agency is open and speculation is coming through people's assholes, excuse my language, I hate preseason because people get in their feels. And look, hear me out. I am the most emotional guy you will ever meet. I'm the most real individual. Look, man, I'd give you my shirt off my goddamn back. All right? I can't stand it. I can't fathom people getting into their feelings about a running back who could be the third string or the fourth string. Okay? I'm not going to get into my feelings about Julio Jones not practicing one day or not playing in any preseason games. I'm not going to get in my feelings about, oh my God, Brian Hill dropped a couple of balls and now we're all jumping on the Ito Smith train. I'm not going to get into my feelings about Zacchaeus or Marcus Green not being the returner, okay? I'm not going to get into my feelings about all the other quarterbacks not playing well or the kickers missing kicks in preseason. I'm not going to get into my feelings and scream and bitch and whine and complain and moan like a lot of Falcons fans are doing right now and a lot of other fans from all other fan bases. You're not alone. There are plenty of other people just like the other Falcons. Okay? I can't get in my feelings like this. This is the absolute worst for two reasons. One, the feelings. People getting to their feelings and not strictly talking about this as a business. All right? That's how I always talk about preseason. It's a goddamn business. Draft is fun. Free agency's fun. Regular season's fun. Postseason's fun. That's all great. I hate the preseason. For one, the emotion, and two, it keeps me from watching real football. It keeps me from watching real football. I'm sick and tired. Hear me out. I'm sick and tired of 25 preseason games. Okay? And it feels like 25 preseason games because the entire month, hold on. Let me pull down. The entire month of August has been spent doing this, doing preseason games. 5 of them things. Five of them things. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4 like every other team. 5 of them things. So let me put something straight. So let me just put something straight. I'm gonna pull this up here because I know my battery life on my camera is about to run out. We don't need this long to evaluate players. Okay? We don't need this long to evaluate who's going to be the 53 guys that you want on the team because 40 of them boys are usually already ready to go. 40 of them guys are already handpicked and they're ready to go for the season. The last 12 or 13 are literally the depth guys that you would only need like 2 games or 3 to be able to get it done. You only need about 3 of them things to get done. You only need 3 to figure out who your depth guys behind your starters and your second string are and who your practice squad is. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Anybody here? 36 people in the chat, 14 likes. Who here in black and white can tell me I'm wrong? Evaluation process does not take 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Doesn't take that long. You could do some practices. You can do 3 of these preseason games and be done. I like Blizz 8818 in here. It says it in black and white, crystal clear as day in a pond in the middle of a fairy forest. You don't need 4 preseason games to get it done. And oh my God, you don't need 5. Give us a bye week. Give us a bye week. Stop the madness. Stop the madness. As Filthy Frank said, as Filthy goddamn Frank said, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. No more. Stop. Stop the madness. Stop the absolute buffoonery. No more. No more. No more. As one of the characters said in Love Actually, enough. Enough. I also want to very quickly state at the very end of the stream that the NFL is trying to lengthen the NFL season. Trying to lengthen the NFL season and take away preseason games. Good thing. But add more games, more weeks, and add more postseason. No. Sorry, but no. No, that would be a no from me and everybody in the chat. We don't need more teams in the look. We don't need more teams messing up the already incredibly messy and incredibly complicated NFL postseason. It is pretty clear to see who goes where, but the divisions make it messy and dirty. Sometimes there's 4 teams that went 11-5 in one division, and 2 of them get left out because one team from another division went 7-9 and won their division somehow. Meanwhile, on the Players Association side, we want more money. We want more money. $2. We want $2 more. Okay. Look. This is how the NFL can fix this. I'm going to let you in on a secret. All right? Here. I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. Here's a little secret. You know how the NFL can pay these players? While not having to give up so much money. You know how they can do it? I'm going to tell you how. Designate 3 players to every squad that are not paid on the books. They are paid by the team personally. Let's say they sign a 5-year deal. Okay? They get a designation on the player. All right? Those players don't count towards the cap for the first 3 years. Then the last 2 years, they get counted on the cap, and they have to renegotiate a contract. And these can only be used on players you drafted. Fixes all the problems. You don't want a player? Let him go. You want a player? He's going to cost a lot, be one of the best in the position, going to shine through, be the most paid of any other wide receiver, quarterback, running back, and you don't want that to hit your cap? Designate them. Make them a designated player. Fixed. That was easy. That wasn't hard. That was simple. I simplified it for you. I made it easier. All right. Anyway. My name's Lieutenant Dan. This was Unintentional Grounding Live. You're listening to nothing but the facts and the truth. Okay? Just, just my 2 cents. Rise up. Stay grounded. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Before I get out of here, I know there's a couple people that didn't know that I was gonna talk afterwards. I like surprising people afterwards when I talk. I think it's funny. People are like, the show's ended. No, it's not. It's not over. Not over yet. And for those of you that actually listen to these last tidbits, I think it's really fun. I think it's fun to talk to the people after a bunch of people leave, because then they kind of are like insiders. They get to hear it. But I was out and about, kind of looking at the current news, Let's turn this music down for a second. It's out and about looking at the current news. And KFC is now going to do a meatless chicken tender or chicken nugget. And they're going to sell a meatless chicken dinner in a bucket with mashed potatoes and gravy and all that. And they're going to make it vegan. And I'm thinking, because I tried the vegan Whopper, all right? I tried the meatless Whopper. You know what's really funny? It tastes just like a Whopper, also made my stomach hurt just like a Whopper. So I'm just gonna say it right now. Fast food chains pretending that they're trying to do healthy things for you. Don't believe it. Continue just go off. Just go off and actually eat real vegetables and fruit. Just go actually eat fruit, vegetables. And look, man, if you like meat, cool, eat meat. Eat real meat. If you don't like meat and you like meatless substitutions with soy and bean and potato and, however they make them, then that's fine. Go do your thing. But I'm telling you, to the regular people, it's not worth it, bruh. It's not worth it. For me, it's different. For me, it's different. But for you guys, for the real, for all the grounders, look, man, just stick to regular meat. Peace.